What is up, everybody? Welcome into the show. This is the San Francisco 49ers Report. My name is Chase Sr. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for daily and year-round coverage of the Niners. And coming up on today's show, I'm going to give you 5 Niners cut candidates heading into the 2026 season and offseason. Some moves that the Niners could make easily to open up some cap space for San Francisco. Cut candidate number 1 is safety Ji'Ayir Brown. He's going into the final year of his rookie contract, the former third-round pick out of Penn State. When he stepped in as a rookie for Talanoa Hufanga, I thought he played well. Since then, though, he has not been great on that back end for San Francisco, and I think he's more of an in-the-box safety. The issue with that clashes with Malik Mustafa, who I think is a little bit better in that regard. So Ji'Ayir Brown's cap number, if he's on the team in 2026, $3.8 million. His dead cap number, if he's cut, only $231,000. Translation here, if the Niners were to cut Ji'Ayir Brown, they would save about $3.6 million in cap space. A big offseason need for the Niners. They need to bring in a better coverage safety alongside Malik Mustafa. I would actually like to see the Niners use Mustafa like they did with Hufanga. Around the box, playing downhill, catering to his skill set. But when you have two players who are very similar in that way, you are weak on that back end. The other thing, if the Niners were to hire a Jim Schwartz, he has 1 year left on his Browns contract, but he got passed up by that Cleveland job. I don't think they can force him to come back. He loves to play man. Number 1 man rate in the NFL last year, Cleveland. The Niners were 23rd in man coverage rate. They play a lot of zone. Ji'Ayir Brown, Malik Mustafa, you got to pick one of the two. I'm rocking with Mustafa, and I would cut Ji'Ayir Brown to open up some cap space here. His 2025, not pretty. 497 coverage snaps. He was targeted 40 times. He gave up 6 touchdowns, 2 picks. Solid. 6 pass breakups, not bad. Didn't have any penalties, but a coverage grade of 58.5, an overall grade of 63.6. He also missed 12 tackles. Can't happen on that back end when you're that final safety valve. Cut candidate number 2 for the Niners, wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk. This one is more obvious, right, compared to some of these other players. If Aiyuk is on the roster in 2026, his cap number is $14.6 million. That's what he accounts toward the cap. If he's cut pre-June 1, $29.5 million in dead money. Post-June 1, though, only $8.3 million in dead money. Of course, the Niners would love to trade him to try to get some value back, but the acquiring team, do they want to acquire Aiyuk not knowing if he wants to play football, not knowing how healthy he is, at that contractual number? Plus, he's been missing from the Niners for months. What type of guy are they bringing in? So if the Niners can't trade him, a post-June 1 cut is obviously more feasible here. Some cap ramifications. The Niners do gain significant future cap flexibility, potentially clearing around $85 million in total future commitments, 2026 through 2028. Roughly $27 million in 2026, $28 million in 2027, around $30 million in 2028 by parting ways with Aiyuk. Part of that is because they voided the future guarantees, right? This does come with some dead cap hits from already paid bonuses. So that's what's important there for Aiyuk. He pretty much got $76 million in guaranteed money to play 7 games for San Francisco. Sad story. Former first-round pick, got better and better every year, 2020 to 2021 to 2022 to 2023. He was an all-pro player in 2023 at a position where there's so much talent, at a position that is so deep with some stellar players. The lead up to the contract, not great. He got a bag, still acted like an asshole and a shitbird, suffers that knee injury, awful situation, and then he's literally gone missing. Kyle Shanahan said last week, in 22 years of coaching, I've never seen anything like it. See you later, BA. Today's 49ers Report, we have 3 cut candidates to get to, is brought to you and made possible thanks to our friends at Prize Picks. Look, the big game is almost here. There's no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than with Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. And since the big game is right around the corner, that also means it's your last chance to get into the football action before next year. Close the season out right with Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups, when you play your first $5. Find your community on Prize Picks with the new social feeds feature. You can share Prize Picks with your friends and copy lineups from winners with a single click. Copy lineups you like or use them as inspiration for your own picks. You can even follow Prize Picks partners like us and tail or fade our picks with just one click. Join the millions of users. Sign up for America's #1 sports picks app. 4-pick power play for the big game. Drake May and Sam Darnold at the quarterback position, more on the passing touchdowns. 0.5 for Drake May, 1.5 for Sam Darnold, and then Jackson Smith and Jigba, Stephon Diggs, more on the receiving yards. That's as easy as the game is. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use the code CLNS. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Niners cut candidate number 3. This might be a little bit of a surprise. Defensive end Bryce Huff. And I don't expect this to happen, but if the Niners wanted to clear up some cash flow, they could do that by cutting Bryce Huff pre-June 1. So his cap hit in 2026, $5.3 million. If he's cut, literally $0 in dead money. So the Niners would be able to save $5.3 million on the cap. And you think about it, going into free agency, going into the draft, they could sign or draft a good defensive end on top of already having Nick Bosa and Mykel Williams under contract. So is there a scenario in which Bryce Huff could be the odd man out? Certainly. Now, if you hire Jim Schwartz with this wide 9, with how he's had edge rushers so productive, I think Bryce Huff could be a menace as the Robin to Nick Bosa's Batman. And to start the year, we kind of saw a glimpse of that. It's really a shame that this Niners defensive line couldn't stay healthy because to start the year, they were really good. Bryce Huff got off to a good start. First 7 games, he had 4 sacks. Final 8 games, goose egg. He needs another elite player on the other side of him to be effective because he's not that #1 pass rusher. We clearly saw that. He is twitchy, he's fast, he's explosive, he has good bend, he has a really good get-off, but he's also pretty small. And that's why, part of the reason he was a UDFA coming out of Memphis. The number's not bad in 2025. Again, this would be a cap-oriented move here for San Francisco. Overall PFF grade 69.2, 46th at the position among 115 edge rushers. Pass rush grade, 74.3, 27th in the league. That's starting caliber. Never been a good run defender. He ranked 87th there at the position. He did have 34 hurries. That was 34th. Quarterback hits, he had 11. That was 24th. His pressures, 45. That was 38th. I think that Bryce Huff is worth keeping, but it also comes down to what the Niners do in the draft and in free agency. And Bryce Huff, alongside Nick Bosa, a really solid player. But I do think there are also upgrades that you can make in the draft, in free agency. What if you trade for a player like Max Crosby and you got to take on his large contract, getting rid of a Bryce Huff with some of these other moves to clear up cap space? It could make some sense. Jake Brendel, the center, checking in at number 4. Very controversial player for San Francisco. And look, I give him credit for developing into a starting center in this league. And he's not awful, but the Niners need to upgrade and get better here. If they want to close the gap on the Seattle Seahawks, who aren't going anywhere anytime soon, they need to get better at center and left guard. Brendel's cap hit, if he's on the team in 2026, $5.4 million. His dead cap number, if he's cut, $2.4 million. So this is an easy way. If the Niners either sign a Tyler Linderbaum, who we've been talking about here on the show, pounding the table to sign him away from the Ravens. If they draft a center who's an upgrade over Jake Brendel, you cut him, you have a Drake Nugent as his backup, maybe a Matt Hennessy, your cap savings there, $2.9 million. Kyle Shanahan loves him. It wouldn't be easy for Kyle to move off of Brendel, but from a financial standpoint, yeah, it can make some sense. He's also going into the last year of his contract, which could complicate matters too. Because could the Niners just play out the rest of his contract, the remaining year of his deal, because Kyle Shanahan likes him so much and he's a good scheme fit for what Kyle wants to do? If that happens, the Niners' potential of winning a Super Bowl next year, it diminishes because he's not good enough for a Super Bowl caliber team when you go up against elite defenses like Seattle's. Now, the PFF numbers are never that bad. Overall offensive PFF grade for him, 69.8. But a pass blocking grade, 55.8. Not good enough. He gets bullied there because he's a smaller, lighter center. It's not physical enough. He doesn't have strong enough hands. It's not a vice grip there. His run blocking grade, not bad, 74.8. He gave up 20 pressures and 3 quarterback hits. I just think that Tyler Linderbaum would be a massive upgrade over Brendel. And then lastly, there's linebacker Dee Winters. Dee Winters will make some splash plays. Dee Winters will make you say wow at times with his speed and the velocity and the ferocity in which he plays with. But his cap number, if he's on the team in 2026, last year of his contract as well, $3.6 million. The dead money, if he's cut, it's only $33,000. So the Niners would be able to save $3.5 million if they moved off of Dee Winters. And one of the big things that I've been emphasizing this offseason, Fred Warner will be back in 2026. And I still think that he's going to be a stellar player. Prior to his injury, he was playing better than any off-ball linebacker in the NFL. Linebacker depth and the linebackers alongside him, that is a box that the Niners need to check off this offseason because I think they need to get better at that second level at linebacker as well. Dee Winters did lead the Niners in tackles this year. He'll make some splash plays against the run, as I mentioned, because he's a speeding bullet. He had 8 TFLs. He had the pick 6 of Phillip Rivers. A PFF grade 62.1. It's not awful. A coverage grade of 63. At times he was exposed there. A run defense grade of 65. All of that is pretty average. Some of this can come down to how Nick Martin comes off that concussion for sure, playing into Dee Winters' status for the Niners in 2026. I just think that you can upgrade there, 1, and 2, open up some dollars. So what say you? Which player on this list will get cut? Let me know down in the comment section right now. Give me a name or names. Did I miss somebody? I don't think I did because I was looking at these numbers pretty closely. Also, don't forget to give me a follow on X, Instagram, TikTok, at Chase_Senior. I'm also on Facebook, Chase Senior Chat Sports.